So now that we know what social emotional learning entails, we want to take a look at how it actually enhances student lives. And we can look at this in two different ways. So there's both short-term effects of social emotional learning and there's also long-term effects. So thinking about the short-term effects, these are the enhancements that we see in the lives of students day to day at school. And then the long-term effects mostly apply for after graduation and how these skills help them in their lives after school. So we're looking at it in two separate ways, but learning these skills is a continuous process. So these skills will continue to develop throughout a student's entire schooling. Looking at these short-term ones first, we have increased self-efficacy and increased confidence and abilities. So it's that self-awareness, being able to know your own strengths and weaknesses, and then having that confidence in your strengths and in your abilities. We also see higher engagement, so like engagement and involvement in school, more positive social behaviors. So that's that being able to feel empathetic, caring, and concern for others, as well as other pro-social behaviors. We see fewer issues of conduct, and this comes out of that responsible decision making and having that ability to foresee and assess consequences. We see reduced emotional distress and then higher grades and test scores, which should be expected because of the higher engagement and the lower stress. Looking at the long-term effects of it, we kind of just take those short-term ones and then see how it affects the students' long-term learning. Um, so we see an increased readiness for post-secondary education with these skills. So students that have them and have been developing them tend to be more prepared to move on to colleges or universities after graduation. We see those positive relationships moving on to other areas of their lives as well. And that's reflected in relationships with family and relationships with coworkers. And that's also due to these positive social behaviors. We see better mental health and more engaged citizens. So it goes from being more engaged in school to more engaged citizens in their everyday lives. So from looking at the short and long-term effects of social emotional learning and teaching these skills, I think it's clear that these support programs are really important in student lives. And it's important to have health and wellness programs and a health and wellness policy and vision that reflects social and emotional learning and skills as well. We see that it not only affects their lives and their day-to-day school experience, but it also gives them opportunities after graduation, and it's a way for students to practice all these important life skills in a safe place.